Hi guys, I'm here to do a first look at the Losi Mini LMT. This is a 1/18th scale version of their LMT scale monster truck. And I have the son of a digger version, but as you can see, I've kind of changed up the decals a little bit. The son of a digger graphics are just decals that go on the top and on the side. The only part that's actually screen printed is the flames up front. But taking a look at the truck real quick, the chrome grille, you can see I ran it already a little bit. The chrome grille looks very, very good. There's nice blue LEDs up front. The body is also attached with screws, which gives it a little bit more of a scale look and a little bit better attachment. Nice little large wheelie bar in the back. It's just a plastic roller cylinder, but it works pretty well. The chassis, as you can see from here where it's scratched a little bit, the chassis is plastic, it's not aluminum, but it is a pretty stiff plastic and it does look pretty good. Otherwise, it looks pretty much like a shrunk down version of the LMT. You can see the center mounted motor. This is a 380 brushed motor, and a lot of people are complaining that the 380 brushed motor seems under spec, especially for the price of this vehicle, because it is priced pretty high. It's around the $280 mark. So you can get a lot of bigger vehicles for that money, but it's definitely a lot less expensive than the full 10 scale LMT. So I think it's a pretty good price, especially for all the features you get. The 380 motor, as you'll see when I run it, is actually pretty adequate for this truck because it's not a very heavy truck. Like I said, the chassis is plastic. The only place they use metal are the places where it was really necessary. Like the links at the bottom are metal, and you can see the universal joints at the ends of the drive shafts are also metal. The actual drive shafts themselves are plastic, but the ends are metal, which is very nice. The axles also look like a very beefy design. They are plastic, but looks very similar to the LMT. Even has sway bars, both front and rear. There's front sway bar, rear. Nice little servo saver here to protect your little micro servo. It does have open diffs, so that should help with the turning radius of this truck. Also nice scale details like the little sponsor plate, little exhaust pipes, full cage, and with the little driver figure inside, full, well, half interior. And then the wheels are also licensed BKT tires. They're not I don't know if they're foam filled. They kind of do feel foam filled, like a very, very soft foam. And they are very soft tires, and I'm actually really, really happy with these tires. The wheels are plastic. There does seem to be screws going into the hubs. I'm not sure what that is for. I'm not sure if it's I don't think it's a beadlock wheel, because you can see glue at the ends of the bead. So I don't know why the screws are there for, but that's something I think we can dig into a little bit later. Nice little oil-filled shocks. That works pretty well. And then it does come with a battery, and to access the battery, there's just 3 tabs. One up here, one down here, and then one up front. It does seem like there's a place for a 4th tab if you run like a truck style body or something, I think. And then this just flips right up. It's a little bit awkward to do with one hand, but there we go. It flips right up. So even though it does have the full cage going on, it makes accessing the internals very, very easy. Comes with a 810 milliamp hour, which is an odd rating. Usually they go up by like 50 or 500, but 810 milliamp hour, 50C, 2S LiPo, hard case. It does have an IC2 connector, And I thought the IC2 connectors were like the IC3 connectors, where they are compatible with the old Horizon connectors. The IC3 connector are compatible with EC3, but these new EC2 connectors are not compatible with the old IC2 connectors is very confusing. The new IC2 connectors are not compatible with the old EC2 connectors. So that is something to keep in mind, and something that's a little bit annoying. And it is a smart battery, which is cool, but that does mean there's no balance lead, so you will have to use the included USB charger or one of the new Spectrum smart chargers to charge this battery up. 2-in-1 ESC receiver, comes with your standard SLT2 transmitter. This is a pretty nice transmitter, pretty easy to drive one-handed. I actually really do like these transmitters. No real complaints there. Let's get this body back on and do some running. So I know this is kind of a little more impromptu than my usual videos, but my hobby room is kind of in a state of disarray at the moment, and my life has been kind of difficult. So whatever the least resistant way to get a video out, I think is better than no video out, which I've kind of been struggling to get videos out. But anyway, here's a quick little size comparison. I have the Mini XT here just because I have one. More people are going to be more interested in the size comparison between these two, mainly because these are more widely available. These are limited editions, so it's kind of hit or miss whether or not you can find those. But you can see they're all fairly the same size. Both of these are 18th scale. This is a 16th scale truck, so you can see it's a little bit bigger. But both of these are two-wheel drive. If you're just out for like backyard bashing or something like that, I would actually recommend the Granite Grom over the LMT, mainly because of the independent suspension. It's going to be a little more stable. It's going to handle driving on grass a little bit better, and it's also significantly less expensive. This, I believe, is $130 to $125 depending on where you get it, whereas this is, like I said, like over $100 more expensive. And this is still a really good truck, but I did want to do a quick comparison between those two. So just wanted to show you real quick. I'll show you what I mean about the backyard kind of. You can see it's pretty stable, even on grass. Whereas the LMT with the solid axles, it's gonna be able to go through the grass, but it's gonna be a lot more bouncy and not as stable. Center of gravity of this truck is also much higher. You can see it just rolled off the grass there. So you're gonna want to keep this thing on smoother terrain like pavement or like flat dirt, or take it pretty slow if you're going to be taking it on grass. But what this thing is good for, you can see because the scale nature of the truck, it's very easy to do like monster truck tricks with it. Oops. But it does do backflips with the proper ramp. It does backflips very easily. It's so much fun to do backflips. And with the lighter weight and the heavy duty looking axles, I'm sure you can do backflips all day with the stock motor setup without too much trouble. You see it does wheelies pretty easily as well, and it'll hold those wheelies pretty well. You don't even have to be at a complete stop to complete those wheelies. You can kind of be moving. It's a little bit fast. But yeah, if you had a wide enough area, you could definitely hold that wheelie for quite a long time. You can also do stoppies, wheelies, stoppies. And you can see the kind of two-wheeled a little bit there. So it's very, very fun to kind of try to recreate real-life monster truck tricks with this thing because of the scale design. And you can see this is a standard like sidewalk. And you can see the turning radius is pretty small. So no real need for four-wheel steer. And honestly, for smaller monster trucks like this, I prefer not to have four-wheel steer just because it makes the truck a little bit more stable to drive, especially in a straight line, a little bit easier to control. And those micro servos aren't always super accurate, so the less number of micro servos doing steering work, the more accurate your truck is going to be. But speaking of kind of alignment and accuracy, one thing that I did notice with the truck is because the lower links are not triangulated at all, they're just perfectly straight. It kind of has a similar issue to what my G-Made R1 rock buggy had, where the axles do have a lot of side-to-side motion. You can see there, the rear is a lot worse. You can see that significant amount of side-to-side motion. So I don't know if anyone's gonna come out with like a different skid plate here that triangulates these links a little bit more or what, but that is a little bit disappointing. But overall, the truck, while on the road, does seem to track pretty straight and is pretty easy to control. So I don't think it's a huge issue. It's just something that bothers me personally a little bit. And for how expensive the truck is, you kind of expect a little bit better build quality, a little bit better, the truck to feel a little bit more solid and whatnot. But other than that little complaint, I've been really enjoying this truck. And it's a lot of fun to drive. Especially if you're like a fan of monster trucks, scale monster trucks especially. There's really nothing that really competes with this. A lot of your other monster trucks are going to be the Basher style monster truck with independent suspension, or I know Traxxas makes the Traxxas TRX4 MT, but that's more of like a classic like Bigfoot style monster truck. So the axles are much narrower. It's still based on a trail truck, like crawler platform, so the diffs are locked. It's not really gonna be able to do these kind of tricks, at least not easily out of the box. And I believe it also does have the trail transmission, not the speed gearing, so it's not gonna be as fast as this. You can see even with the 380 motor, it's plenty peppy. It has a lot of go, both front, forward and reverse. And especially for a solid axle vehicle like this, that's also very small. I don't think I would really want it to go much faster than this anyway. They're more likely going to be doing like smaller area, like stadium kind of driving with this. So I much prefer the brushed motor, especially since at this size, at this RTR price point, brushed motors are also going to give you a little bit better torque and immediate punch. So no real complaints about any of that. All the electronics are waterproof like every other Horizon vehicle, so that is very nice to see. But it's really hard to stop driving it. It's just so much fun to drive. I wish they did offer more body styles. Currently they only offer the Gravedigger and the Son of a Digger. The only difference between the two are gonna be the color of your wheels, your cage, and the body. Otherwise, both trucks are exactly the same. I believe the Gravedigger comes with red lights in the front instead of blue. But it'd be really cool to get more Monster Jam licensed vehicles. I'm really hoping for a Monster Mutt because that's my favorite Monster Jam truck. The little floppy ears. I know Traxxas did one when I was a kid. That's probably like 10 years ago now. But it'd be really cool to have like a little mini Monster Mutt, or even any of the other really popular Monster Jam trucks like Megalodon or El Toro Loco, Max D, all those kind of trucks. So I think it's a really good release. I think it's a really fun truck from Horizon and Losi. I think the only problem right now is some people are having problems getting parts for it, or just finding the truck in stock at stores. Most of the hobby shops I've went to seem to not have many of these in stock, so I don't know how well they're selling, but I hope they keep these around for a long while because I think it's going to be a very fun truck, and a truck that I plan on keeping around for a long while. So that was my quick look and review of the Losi Mini LMT. I hope you enjoyed this kind of impromptu review, and as always, I hope you have a good day and have fun with RC.